So we got a guest with us in the studio this morning. It is Jeff Norman, who is the master taster over at the Jack Daniel's Distillery, and it's good to see you, Jeff.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. I thought for a minute you'd smell like whiskey, but you don't. So.
Do a good job of hiding it. Now.
So you are the you don't even look old enough to be drinking. First of all,
that's all relative.
I guess it is. You are the master taster, which means that you're the guy who decides what goes into the bottles that we buy.
Exactly.
Or drink at the bars.
Exactly.
Or wherever we have these.
Yeah. Each batch is tasted by me, and it's thumbs up or thumbs down. I mean, people have come to expect around the world the same quality and taste, flavor from Jack Daniel's whiskey, and that's what we strive to do each and every day, is to make the same product as Jack Daniel did. And one of the things we want to do is be sure that it tastes good. So somebody has tasted the whiskey since Jack Daniel did. He was the first master taster.
Right.
He tasted all of his batches of whiskey to make sure, because once it's in the bottle and it's out and around the world to our friends, that's it. We have no control over it then. So we have to be sure that it's good before it goes in the bottle.
So you have to taste each single barrel as it comes out?
Well, now the single barrel whiskey,
I don't mean to say single barrel. I mean when the whiskey comes out of the barrel, you have to taste each one.
No, not each barrel.
Oh, okay.
Now we have 3 different brands of Jack Daniel's whiskey. There's Gentleman Jack.
Love Gentleman Jack.
Black Label. And there's single barrel.
And love that one too.
The first two, the Gentleman Jack.
God, I love Jack Daniels, don't I?
The first two, the Gentleman Jack and the Black Label. What I do is I taste a bottling tank, a tank that is ready to be bottled. It's about 11,000 gallons. We take a sample from that. We bring it into the lab. We test it for a few parameters, but we use instruments to do that. But the final say is based on a human palate, and that's my palate. So a batch is tasted for Gentleman Jack, for Jack Daniel's Black Label. So single barrel, each and every barrel is tasted, because the single barrel whiskey is like its name says, from a single barrel. So from barrel to barrel, you do get unique characteristics. So each and every barrel of that is tasted.
You're the only one?
Now, the single barrel, we have a panel called the Master Panel.
Okay.
There's 7 of us that pick the whiskeys which will be offered as single barrel whiskey.
Get an application before you leave.
We didn't bring any, sorry. But even after that, I taste it one last time.
You are the only one
that tastes it before it's bottled. Right before it's bottled.
You're like the final approval on anything before it leaves the place.
Exactly.
Your palate is like the most important palate of all the Jack Daniels people in the world.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
So when you taste this, a lot of people are going, God, he's got to be drunk all the time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you'd just taste it, but you spit it back out, right? You're not ingesting the alcohol.
Exactly. When I show up to work every morning, I have samples waiting on me. So I taste whiskey before I drink coffee.
That's got to be a horrible job.
Somehow I get up and do it. But, one of the reasons is I have to keep my palate clean, my senses clean, so I can't drink each sample, because I have to keep the palate clean, because I have to tell if there's anything wrong with the whiskey. I have to be able to tell that. So that's one reason why I taste it, spit it out, rinse with water, taste the next, and then spit it out, and so on and so forth.
And what do you look for? What's the main thing that you taste, that you find?
Well, I'm looking for characteristics that are associated with Jack Daniel's whiskey, and that's the sweet caramel notes that are in Jack Daniel's whiskey. Also, the toasted oak notes that are in Jack Daniel's whiskey. It derives all of those flavors and aromas from the barrels that it's matured in. The barrels are made from American white oak, and we toast and char the inside of every barrel.
I've seen all that, which is a great thing to see if you've ever done the
really
tour
is.
there.
Yeah, it really is. And then when we toast and apply heat to that wood, we're doing the same thing as when coffee beans are roasted, or when you stick a marshmallow over a campfire. We are unlocking flavors and aromas in that barrel wood, and that whiskey is able to get those flavors and aromas as it works in and out of the wood as the seasons pass. So, it's going to pull those same flavors and aromas each and every time, the wood notes, the warm caramel, the warm vanilla notes.
And
so that's what I'm looking for.
Has it ever happened that something's been really bad where you go, this is bad?
Not under my watch. Now, we're very good at what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing the same thing as Jack Daniel did.
Because I've seen these guys fire the inside of these barrels, and I'm thinking, what if they just really burned it really bad inside? I mean, that would obviously make something taste pretty bad.
It could. Now, of course, we check the barrels to ensure that they're of the same quality.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to put whiskey in a barrel that has not been charred or toasted adequately, or, like you say, has been charred and toasted too much. We'd be wasting our time. So we check those barrels as well. So we try to do so many things along the way to ensure that quality down the road is going to be what you would expect.
Wow.
So you just smell like a barrel of whiskey all the time. Your wife's like,
Well, if the cops stop me and I've been speeding, of course I don't drink on the job, but you can smell it on the clothes sometimes.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
they know that I work there, and they're like, yeah, go ahead.
So if we
Oh,
get
nice
one of
free
those, if we
pass.
get one of those T-shirts, we get a free pass too. Is that what you're saying? One of those cool shirts you
Yeah.
could get?
Oh yeah, sure.
Wow. Well, I imagine, a breathalyzer, you would have to be, your breath would be huge on that, but
Yeah,
your
well,
blood alcohol level wouldn't
right.
be.
The blood alcohol would not register.
Right.
So if I were stopped, then it wouldn't register. And that's another thing. We want to be responsible in everything that we do at Jack Daniel's. So that's another reason why I don't drink on the job, because I have to be responsible in what I do, and that would not be if I did.
And your parents were huge at Jack Daniel's, right? I mean,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
whole family's been there their whole lives?
Yeah, born and raised in Lynchburg.
Wow.
My mom and dad worked at the distillery. My brother did. My dad was a taster when he was there. So I'm just
Wow,
carrying
very
on
cool.
that tradition.
Well, we love when you get to come by. We had just heard bad news earlier before you got here the other day that Jimmy Bedford, who was the master distiller over there for a lot of years, I think he was only the fifth one after Jack.
He was the sixth one.
The sixth one.
Yeah.
That he just passed away not too long ago.
Yeah, very
that was
tragic,
some sad
very
news.
unexpected.
So, but it was great to meet you, and we're glad that you're in town. In fact,